Welcome to episode 15 of Baba Yaga's Magic, Slavic spiritual healing and spiritual cleansing. Spiritual cleansing and healing are a part of almost every folk magic practice under the sun. However, Slavic folk magic practices have some fascinating ways of removing curses, the evil eye, and just general spiritual gunk. Join me in this episode where you'll learn about prychyna and vroki, the Baba sheptukha, and the unique ways that Ukrainians and other Slavic people get rid of that funky negativity in all its forms. Before we dive in, though, I want to tell you about a very special way that you can meet with me for free and ask me your questions about spells, the law of attraction, spirituality, witchcraft, Slavic folk magic, spirits, divination, and more. Join me on Sundays for the live podcast recording and for the extra bonus content, a live Q&A after the podcast. That's your questions that I will answer. It's totally free to join, and all you have to do is be a member of the Spell Squad. And to do that, all you have to do is sign up at spellsquad.com. It takes place every Sunday except for the first Sunday of the month at 5 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Mountain, 7 p.m. Central, and 8 p.m. Eastern. If you want to see back episodes, you can check them out on my YouTube channel, or you can listen to the podcast by going to magicandthelawofattraction.com or finding it on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, or your favorite podcatcher, or my other podcast, this one that you're listening to right now, babayagasmagic.com. Go ahead over to spellsquad.com and sign up today so you can join the Spell Squad. You will get a ton of free goodies, and you'll be able to join me with a cup of tea and download some deep spiritual knowledge. It's always fun in our little magical clubhouse, and I'd love to see you there. So let's talk about, before we get into cleansing and healing in Slavic traditions, let's talk about how Slavic people view the spirit world and how it works. For Slavic people, we believe there are good forces. There are things that you want to bring more of into your life, but there are also not so good ones, in particular, vroki and prychyna. Prychyna is a curse, somebody actively trying to harm you. And vroki is the evil eye, when someone looks at you with a jealous or an envious feeling that then causes you misfortune, even if they didn't have any ill wishes towards you. Now, if you are moving in this world of Slavic magic, then you are aware of both the good forces that you want more of and these negative forces that you want to keep away. So the first line of defense for any Slavic magic practitioner is protection. Protection can show up in a lot of different ways. It can show up in things called oberi, which are charms. Oberi are things like having embroidery, your vyshivanka, with magical embroidery for protection, for example. Or, as we were talking about when we were talking about Holy Mother Earth, carrying a piece of earth can be a form of charm that will protect you when you're traveling and so on. We can also protect ourselves with rituals. Rituals like paying respect to our domovic, our house spirit, so that our house is protected, or doing things and avoiding doing things that will invite negativity, like picking up something that you find at a crossroads. However, we can follow all of these things, have charms, do rituals, and so on, and they will protect us in 99% of the situations that we might encounter where we could get prychyna or vroki. But even with this protection up, sometimes we might, for some reason, allow these negative forces to come in and they can get to us. Now, if you are in a situation where you have a curse or you believe that someone has cast the evil eye on you, it's no reason to panic. You will notice it. You will notice things going downhill, or your energy being drained, or having a real streak of bad luck or something like that. And if you notice that and you suspect that you have a curse, a hex, evil eye, or just some negativity around you, you don't have to panic. You just have to deal with it. You have to cleanse it and heal it. And that's what this episode is all about. Oftentimes when people hear about curses, they get very fearful. But I like to say to people that picking up a curse, or even picking up any kind of negativity or evil eye or any of that, is like stepping in dog poop. Stepping in dog poop is no one's favorite thing. It's not something you want. But if you step in it, what do? You clean off your shoe and then you go on with your life, right? The problem is when you don't clean off your shoe. Then you step in your house and you get it all over the carpet, or you go in your car and you get it all over your car. And now you've got a huge mess. So this is why I believe that regular cleansing, regular protection work, and really being prepared at all times just to protect yourself. And when it happens, cleansing yourself is the best magic that you can do. So there are so many ways. I mean, like dozens and dozens and dozens of ways that you can cleanse and heal in Slavic magic. So I will not be able to get to all of them. If you want to find out more about them, of course, you can check out my book, Baba Yaga's Book of Witchcraft, which has a ton of tools, recipes, and so on. But I'm going to kind of just go over some highlights and some very special ones for you in this episode today. So let's talk about first one of the most important people when it comes to cleansing and healing magic. That is the Baba Sheptukha. Baba Sheptukha means grandmother whisperer. We find Babi Sheptukhi in many different countries, in Poland, in Russia, in Ukraine, in Belarus. We find this idea of the grandmother who is the healer and who whispers her incantations in many Eastern European countries. One of the things that is the responsibility of the Baba Sheptukha is Vilivari Visk, which is wax pouring, literally means pouring wax. Vilivari Visk means is a method for cleansing and healing and discovering the source of the negativity. These elder women, the wise women of the community, are spiritual healers who perform these rites, such as Vilivari Visk, where they whisper incantations into the water and wax, and whisper incantations over the patient. Really, we think of them as being patients because they're healers. And these incantations and the ritual and the rite drive out the fear or the trauma, the strach, that is seen as the source of someone's negativity or physical or emotional troubles. When they speak these words, as they're speaking these words, the healer will cut the water with a knife, effectively cutting and disabling the trauma. Then pouring the wax into the water, they do that. That assists with the healing process and allows the healer to discover where this fear came from. Then she uses zaklinanya, which are incantations, to cast out the fear. She uses her words to either gently entice the fear to go far away, a place where they will not bother anybody, or they command the fear to leave in a more forceful way. While the water and the wax and the knife are part of this ritual, the words direct the energy of the healing and tell it where to flow. Now, if you're interested in Vilivari Visk and learning about it, I'm going to be hosting a workshop on July 26th through Catland Books. So if you go to catlandbooks.com and you scroll down to look at the July 26th workshop, you will find it there, and you can register and join me and learn how to do this whole ritual. It's a big ritual and it definitely requires visuals. So the class is the perfect way to learn more about this. Now, another technique that a Baba Sheptukha might use is called, the literal translation is egg pumping, but really it's sort of in the general gist of what that means is egg pulling, that you're pulling away negativity using an egg. We in English would call it an egg cleansing. So a traditional egg cleansing would be done on someone to remove any negativity, any illness or any curse or any fear, trauma, etc. If you want to do this method, or the way it's done in Slavic lands, is that they use a fresh fertilized egg with a white shell. Now, the most traditional way of doing this is using an egg that has not been refrigerated and was not purchased. That means you have to have a chicken or a friend with a chicken, which some of us don't have access to. So if you cannot do that, then you do the next best thing, which is to get a fresh fertilized egg and use that. Now, that traditional method, they would collect it directly from the hen, then wash it, and they would use it in the practice. So the method of doing this, one method, or the basic method of doing this, is to prepare the ritual space during the day, and in the evening you're going to do the cleansing. They would prepare the room that they were going to do this work in by opening all the windows to let in fresh air and let in light. They would wash the egg that they would be using with special water, either spring water or rain water. This is holy water that is used magically. When they're ready to perform the cleansing, they light a beeswax candle, and then they would sit down their client, their patient, in front of them in a chair. They would stand behind them and hold the egg in their right hand. They would whisper the words of prayer or intention to remove that negativity, and then move the egg around the person clockwise around their body, 2 circles around the head, 2 around the neck, and 2 around the torso. Then, while holding the egg, they would roll it directly from the shoulder on their body, right shoulder toward the chest, over the abdomen and down the left leg and to the left foot. Then they break this egg into a clear glass of water to do a divination to see how bad the negativity was, or if any negativity remains. If they have some egg white threads and they see lots of threads, that would indicate that there's vroki, or the evil eye. If they see red or black dots, that represents the presence of a curse. So they would do it again with another egg. They would use a new egg and do it again, and until they got an egg that was completely clear, didn't have any strings, didn't have any spots, and then they would know that the curse or the vroki was removed. So it might be, a few eggs, might be 1 egg. It depends on the level of the negativity that someone is carrying. Now, whether the eggs show up, good, or they're indicating that there's some kind of negativity, the broken eggs and water would then be taken to a place where no one would step on them, or alternatively flush down the toilet. And as they are ritually disposing of the egg, they would say the following incantation: water, take away all curses, negativity, and illnesses. So that's like the last part of the ritual, is getting rid of the water and the egg that is drawing out that negativity. You can also do a simple egg cleanse on yourself, because this one that the Baba Sheptukha does, you cannot really do on yourself, but you can do a simple egg cleanse on yourself. For that, you would just have break an egg, a raw egg, in a clear glass of spring water. And as you would do so, you say the words, "Take all negativity away from me." You would place this glass on your nightstand next to your head overnight while you sleep. And in the morning, you would look and examine that egg in water to see if there are any changes. If there are any of the negative signs, like the strings or the spots or any of that, you would repeat the next night until you get a normal looking egg. So you would do it each night. Now, eggs are one way, magical, very, very magical, very traditional way of doing a cleanse, very powerful and very important in Slavic magic. But there's another thing that we have talked about before that's very important in Slavic magic, which is fire, in particular, living fire, fire that is started by rubbing sticks together. Living fire is a purifier. And there are traditions in both summer solstice and winter solstice of jumping over fires, making bonfires and jumping over fires, or driving livestock through fires, little low fires, to purify, bless, and protect them. We see this at Kupala, which is the summer solstice festival. We see this at Kolyada, the winter solstice festival, and we also see it throughout the year. Anytime you need to, begin something or prepare something, or you have a bonfire going, you can do this ritual. Be careful, make sure the fire is low when you jump over it. Make sure you're not wearing things that are going to catch on fire. You don't want to, do anything bad. That in itself would be a curse, but you can carefully jump over fire and have no ill effect. Or if it's a low fire, drive your livestock through it. Now, speaking of fire, another way of doing cleansing is called obkuryuvanya, or sensing. Sensing is lighting herbs on fire and using the smoke for purification. There are special herbs that are really important. I mean, there are many herbs that are important in clearing, cleansing. Oregano, cedar, pine, wormwood, but probably the number one obkuryuvanya sensing herb is juniper. Dried herbs can be lit with fire and used for sensing a person or a place. So you can, sense yourself, sense someone else, or cleanse this place with the smoke from those burning herbs. Slavic people believe that the smoke of any wood fire is great for casting out negativity. But if you add herbs to a fire, it can be used for particular spiritual situations and intensify the cleansing. If you have a fireplace, you can throw herbs into your fire and then waft some of that smoke into the house or on yourself. You can also take those dried herbs, if they're cut, and you can place them in a small dish or a cup or a shell, and you can light them on fire and let them smolder there. Or you can use a dried herb bundle, which can be held in your hands and lit with a match or a lighter, and then, or lit from your living fire in your fireplace, your wood stove, etc. And if you're cleansing the home, you could take the smoke from the herbs and waft it through each of the rooms. And if you're cleansing a person like yourself, you can waft it on yourself. If you are sensing another person, you could hold that smoke and let the individual who is being cleansed scoop that smoke onto themselves as if they're carrying water and pouring it on themselves. So you can do some traditional means of doing that by directing the smoke to your head, to your heart, to your feet, or you can, and using that method, you can drive out fear, you can drive out negative spirits or negativity, disease, and so on. Now, a little twist on this that is very specifically Slavic is if you had a trauma from an animal, for example, you could use a tuft of fur or a feather from that animal and light it and fumigate the person to remove their fear. If you yourself or someone that you love has a fever, a healer might take a snip of the sick person's hair and burn it over them to assist in banishing the illness. So it's another great method. Now, of course, we cannot talk about cleansing without talking about the primary cleanser in most magical practices, water. Water is so important in Slavic magic. It's really adored and loved, and there's so many details and all the ways that you can use it. But one of the primary places where people think of cleansing in Slavic lands is the lasnia, the bathhouse. The bathhouse is not like a sit-down bath. It's a sauna, a steam room. And the lasnia is a place where you can ask the divine elements and the spirits and your helping spirits and anything, any of these beautiful energies to clean yourself, cleanse yourself of sickness, whether it's spiritual or physical. And there's a saying that if a patient is not helped by the lasnia, then nothing would help them. That's how much confidence people in Slavic lands put into the bathhouse and the cleansing value of the bathhouse. Now, we also have special waters. And if you listen to some of my past podcast episodes, you heard me talk about the different waters that you can use, rainwater and so on and so forth. So one of the very special waters that is very magical for cleansing is called Strytenia water. Strytenia is the midwinter holiday that corresponds in the Western calendar to Candlemas. It's considered a holiday of healing, and that water that is collected, if it rains on Strytenia or dew that is collected, can be rubbed on the body to heal skin diseases, or it can be, you can drink it to cleanse curses or remove vroki. Now, if you listen to episode 7, Slavic rainwater magic, I talk about different times of the day that the rain has different power. Rainwater between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. is used to wash away the effects of vroki, or the evil eye. So if you have an opportunity, you feel like you have this, jealous energy from somebody on you, and you have a rainy day, you can go out between 8 and 9 a.m. and collect that water, or even better, stand under that rain and let the rain wash over you to cleanse and remove that evil eye energy. Now, another magical water for Slavic people is dew. Morning dew, collected on any day, can be used in healing spells. You can simply go out in the morning and take some of that dew off of the flowers and the grasses and the trees and put that on your skin to heal and rejuvenate your body, or put it on wounds if you have a wound that needs some healing. Dew can also be used to remove negative energy from yourself, and can be used if you do some negative magic and you want to cleanse it off of yourself. You can use the dew for that as well. Hopefully you're not doing too much negative magic, but you don't want to carry that around with you either. Dew can be added to healing infusions, and it can be used to help with healing spells and so on. Now, the important thing about water, when we're using water for a cleansing, like we were talking about earlier, when you're using Vilivati Visk, or you're doing a cleansing spell with water, the eggs, and so on, you want to make sure that if you're using water for cleansing and there's water left over, or water that has washed off someone, that you do not leave that water in places where people will walk. You want to take that water to a place where no one walks, so that no one steps in that water, or the place where that water was, and picks up the curse or the illness that is being banished by accidentally stepping on it. So there you go, working with water. Now let's talk about another place that you can do some healing and cleansing, and that is the crossroads. Crossroads is a big place for leaving curses, bad luck, prychyna, all of that stuff behind, so that you do not carry it with you. Usually we are asking for the spirits to help us when we go to the crossroads, and we leave an offering for the spirits. So if you are trying to get rid of some curse, some negativity, and you want the help of the spirits, go to a crossroads, converse with the spirits, leave an offering. And if it's a big curse, leave a big offering. If it's a little curse, leave a little offering. The trick of this is, though, that anybody that touches that item is going to pick up that curse. That's why I say to you guys, never touch anything that you find in a crossroads. Don't do it, because either A, you're messing with someone else's magic, or B, you're picking up their curse. That is not an ideal situation. Don't touch things at the crossroads. So you might find money, spell packets, jewelry, offerings. Some things look very valuable and very enticing. And if you want to get rid of it and you don't mind that someone else picks it up, leaving it at the crossroads is a great way to do it. And don't pick up anybody else's stuff at the crossroads. Now, you can also do other magic at the crossroads for healing and cleansing. Going back to working with juniper, you can work with juniper to protect a whole community from illness by doing a spell with the juniper at the crossroads. So if you're in a community and you're having an epidemic, or there's something going on and you want to protect everyone, it's possible to do that cleansing and protection ritual by burning juniper at the crossroads. For that, you would go to the crossroads at noon near the area you wish to protect, and burn dry juniper bundles. If you live in an area where there is dryness or there's fire danger, you want to make sure you take extra precautions if you're going to do this, and don't catch everything on fire, because that's just as bad as having an epidemic. We don't want that either. So just make sure you're careful, but you can burn this at the crossroads to cleanse and bless and protect a whole community. Now, in a minute, I'm going to teach you a special divination and cleansing ritual involving fire and water. But before I do that, I want to tell you about a phenomenal way that you can bring magic into your life twice a month, on the full moon and the new moon. I'm talking about the full moon and new moon subscription. You might already know about the amazing full moon spell kits and workshops, and the new moon candle spell kits, workshops, and services that I create every month just for you. Each is available for only 1 week, and then it goes away forever. But did you know that we have subscription services? If you've ever wanted to participate in the new moon or full moon, but missed the window of opportunity to get one, You know how disappointing that can be, but we have a solution. You can subscribe to the Full Moon Spell Kit and Workshop, or the New Moon Candle Spell Kits, Workshop, or Services, and get a guaranteed spot at the head of the line to be the very first to get yours sent to you. Whenever you sign up for a new moon or full moon subscription, you'll get charged just for 1 month, and then you'll be the first to get it when it goes live. And then every 28 days, which is the cycle of the moon, you'll be charged again, and for that next month's subscription, and you will only be charged for the next month. You'll not only that, you will get these wonderful magical spell kits and workshops at a discount. There is no minimum number of months to stay subscribed. You can unsubscribe at any time, and it really could not be easier. If you want to set it, forget it, and have it come to you, this is your dream. So if you would like to sign up now and get in on the next special spell, go to fullmoonspell.com or newmoonspells.com and sign up today. So let's talk about this cool magical divination and cleansing spell. Now, if you suspect that someone has a curse, yourself or someone else, you can do this ritual. Ideally it's done with 2 people, one performing the ritual and the other receiving the cleansing, but it's something you can actually do for yourself. Now, get special water. This can be spring water, that is your special ingredient, or what we call untapped water. It's water that comes from a well, if you have a well, that you get before dawn. That's called untapped water. Now, you can collect that water before dawn, the morning that you're going to do this work, and then you perform this spell work at sunset. In addition to the water, you will need 3 cloves of garlic, a wooden bowl, a knife, and a book of paper matches. At sunset, pour the water into the wooden bowl and add the 3 cloves of garlic. Have the person who's receiving this healing facing the east and place the bowl on a table in front of them. Make a sign of a cross over the water, that's a sun sign, with a knife, and say the following incantation: fire and water, save the name of the person from all negativity. Save them from the evil hour, save them from the evil eye, save them from all ill-wishing men, save them from all ill-wishing women, save them from all ill-wishing children, save them from all ill-wishing thoughts, save them from all ill-wishing words. Then you are going to light 9 of these paper matches, one at a time. And as you light them, you throw the lit match one by one into the water while whispering the following charm: not 9, but 8, not 8, but 7, not 7, but 6, not 6, but 5, not 5, but 4, not 4, but 3, not 3, but 2, not 2, but 1, not 1, but none. When the 9th match is thrown into the water, check to see how many matches are floating and how many have sunk. The more matches that sink, the heavier the negativity is surrounding that person. So if 1 match sinks, then the negativity is really of no consequence. It's pretty light. If all 9 sink, there is some heavy negativity surrounding this person. If all the matches are floating, that person's energy is clear and you do not have to do the rest of the ritual. If any matches sink, you complete the cleansing portion of the ritual and repeat the divination again the following day and cleanse again if necessary. You're going to repeat this every day until all your matches are floating and the person is completely cleansed. So the cleansing ritual is that the recipient of this healing work will take 4 sips of water, 1 from each of the 4 sides of the bowl. After that, the healer, will dip the back of your hand in the water and rub the water from left to right across the forehead, across the upper chest, above the heart, down each arm, down each inner wrist, above the navel, and down each leg. You will repeat this process of wiping them down 3 total times. Then you will take the remaining water and matches to the base of a tree where no one is going to step, at a crossroads or on the threshold, and say the following incantation: go back to where you came from. You're casting out the negativity. So there you have it, a beautiful, magical, and cool spell that is totally Slavic. So I hope you enjoyed learning about cleansing and healing magic. We just got the very tip of that iceberg, and there is so much more in Baba Yaga's book of witchcraft. So I recommend that you check it out. So that about does it for this episode of Baba Yaga's Magic. If you would like to get even more info about Slavic magic, then check out the Learn page over at Parlour of Wonders, where you will find a ton of resources, including workshops, blog articles, past podcast episodes, and the way to join me live over Zoom for the Magic Q&A tea party that takes place every Sunday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Mountain, 7 p.m. Central, and 8 p.m. Eastern. Just go to parlourwonders.com and click on the Learn tab to see all the goodies there. I want to say thank you to all the Spell Squad members out there who have subscribed to and shared this podcast with your friends. You guys are awesome. Thank you to the fabulous folks who have left reviews on iTunes and Stitcher. Those reviews really help to get the word out to the wider world, and I so appreciate you doing that. Thank you to Gilles Navarre for production and engineering, and thank you to you for joining me. I'm looking forward to next episode when we'll be learning about Provodi, the Easter celebration for the dead. Until next time, this is Madame Pamita and Baba Yaga saying Za Mahiyu to magic, and may all your stories have the happiest fairy tale endings.